Hi, welcome to the Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm here to help you to heal your anxiety. On today's episode, what I will be talking about is to help you to have a better understanding of how you can accept and more be okay with not being okay. Now, what I mean by that, it doesn't mean that you should just give up and say, this is the way I feel and I can't do anything about it and I have no hope. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean more is acknowledge and be with the emotion that is making you feel this way, because it does a few things whenever you do that. It helps you to, first of all, stop fighting the emotion that you don't want to feel, which is important because the more you fight, the more stress you put on yourself, and that creates more anxiety. And whenever we accept and acknowledge our emotion and just be with it, it helps us to calm down, and also it helps us in a way to repair that emotion that we're feeling, because we are actually acknowledging it and not trying to push it away or drown it in a way from drinking, from doing drugs, buying things, or whatever your addiction is in a negative way, right? Then what this does, it helps you to acknowledge and understand that, hey, you know what? It's okay that I feel this way right now. It is fine. I'm going to work towards accomplishing and acquiring my goal in feeling good. That's what I want. But right now, I understand what I am feeling, and that is okay. There is nothing wrong with that. If you're feeling down, it happens. It's impossible to always feel good, to always feel happy, to always be that way. And it's once we understand that we can't always be that way, and understand, a human being is so complex and has so many different things to it, so many different emotions to it, that we will go in a wave and in a way, just like the ocean, or just like whenever the heart monitor goes up and down. That's the way also our emotion is, and how we are going to be. We are sometimes going to be up, and sometimes we are going to be down. But our society is built in a way that always telling that you need to feel good. You have to feel good. And if you feel down, do these negative things. Drink, do drugs, whatever your negative thing is, buying things, whatever it is, our society is telling us, hey, it's not okay to feel down. Now, I'm not saying that you should, if you feel down for a long period of time, then that's okay. No, that's not what I'm saying over here. What I'm saying is basically we're going to have ups and downs whenever we are our emotional state, but we have to acknowledge and be where we are, so that way we can work towards working on ourselves and building ourselves, so that we can start understanding that, hey, our foundation, there's something wrong over here. So what do I need to do to fix the issue so that I can move forward in a healthier way? And this can apply also with our anxiety, that we don't want to feel anxious. We don't want to have these thoughts. We want to be anxiety free. We don't want to experience depersonalization and derealization. We don't. So what do? Is that we are always trying to push it out. Always trying to push it. I don't want to feel this way. I want to fight it. I don't want to be this way. I want to get out of my situation. But all that it's doing, whenever you're doing that, is causing you, it's creating more stress and unhappiness. And it's basically not letting you to move forward and build yourself in the proper way. But whenever we do acknowledge and accept our situation and understand, hey, I am going through a very tough time right now. I'm struggling through this anxiety. I'm feeling depersonalization, derealization. I'm having panic attacks. I am experiencing all these physical symptoms and thoughts. and just the disconnection, what I am going to do is accept the fact that I am going through this, but at the same time, I'm going to acknowledge and I'm going to work towards the goal of me overcoming my anxiety, and that it is possible to achieve that goal. Now, again, I understand that you don't want to accept the depersonalization and derealization. Who does? I remember feeling that way. I remember how difficult it was. It was hard. How hard it was for me to even be every single day waking up feeling that way, feeling disconnected from myself, feeling like a stranger to myself and to other people, and just not connected with reality. And it felt like I went insane. I know how hard that is, but the reason why we even experiencing depersonalization and derealization is because of our fight and fight mode. And the more we try to fight, see the key word, it's connected to the fight and flight and also the freeze, that what happens is that it's creating more pressure, it's creating more anxiety. But whenever we acknowledge it and accept it and say, you know what, I'm going to accept the way I feel. I'm going to accept the way I feel as I'm disconnected from reality, and I'm accepting the way I feel that I went insane. Again, you are not insane, because a person that is sane and thinks that there is something wrong shows how sane that person actually is. An insane person does not understand, it cannot differentiate between what's right and wrong. It doesn't feel like there's something off. You do. That shows how sane you are. I remember how whenever I heard that concept, it really calmed me down. So I just gave you like amazing value over there that can really help you to calm down your anxiety whenever you're feeling depersonalization and derealization. And I had this for a good 6 to 8 months of experience DPDR. But once we acknowledge and we accept, it will help you to get to that point of calming down and hopefully get out of that situation or however you're feeling. I remember whenever I was depressed, and those 3 years of recovery that I was, that I had those ups and downs for the 2.5 years, I had also depressing moments. I felt depressed, but you know what I did? I said to myself, I am not going to fight this depression anymore. I'm not going to fight the way I feel. I'm just going to be with what I'm feeling. And within a good few hours, or even less, and it started to get less and less, the more I did this, I started to feel better and I started to get out of the depression. Whereas in the beginning, I would try to fight it and I didn't want to feel this way, because it was one of the deepest hurt that I ever felt in my entire life. I can't even explain the hurt of how I felt when I was going through depression. It was so intense. And I hated it. And it was not easy just to accept it. It's definitely not easy just to do that, by the way, guys. It is not. It's going to take you time. It's going to take you some practice. But with everything right now, it's going to take you some time and practice and taking it step by step. Taking it small every single day. I'm a big believer in taking small steps every single day so that you can build a solid foundation, that you can build the habits so that you can become that person to heal your anxiety so that it's long lasting. And I'm speaking from somebody that has overcome their anxiety and has been anxiety free for 9 years. So I know what really does help and what doesn't, because I understood that in order for us to be anxiety free, in order for me to be anxiety free, is that I need to change the mindset, the habits, the emotional state that I'm in order to feel much better. So accepting and acknowledging and being okay, not being okay, will help you to deal with what you are going through. And again, doesn't mean that you're giving up and they're saying this is the way I am. No, what you're doing is finally acknowledging the acknowledgement that you need, that you haven't gotten most of your life, that you haven't gotten that acknowledgement, and just being there whenever you are hurt and just understanding like, hey, it's okay with what you are going through, and then working towards that goal, the achievement of being anxiety free, of being happy. Achieving that will give you a more solid foundation, something to build on in order to achieve that goal that you want. If you did like this episode, click the like button and give me a 5-star review. The reason why, it will reach more people. And my goal, and I speak about this in every single episode in the end, that I always say, my mission is to help people overcome their anxiety so they can live anxiety free and be the person that they once was, and even a more enhanced person than they once was. Take care, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.